Namaskaram. Welcome to the first English video of Bhakthamrutham. We are all enjoying a happy moment in our lives. Bhagavan Sri Ram, after centuries of exile, has again returned to Ayodhya. What a moment, what a moment. Now that we have reached the end of a dispute, I just want to remind you all about another dispute that is going on between Rama and a very large party. What is that? Let me give you a disclaimer first. This video is not about Mathura or Kashi, but this is a dispute between Bhagavan Sri Ram and us. In this dispute, we have a really major role to play. We ourselves can make Bhagavan Sri Ram victorious. Oh, what is that dispute? Let's see that in the video. Let me first explain to you what really happened in the Ayodhya case. I am not a legal expert, so some points may be off the mark, but I just want to share with you some important message. So let's get into it. See, what happened in Ayodhya is a civil dispute. There are many cases attached to it, but basically it's a civil dispute. There are two sides or more who claim ownership over a piece of land. So when there is a dispute regarding a property, you can claim ownership through some ways. One way is through a title. Title is basically a document which indicates legal ownership over a piece of property. So I have this title, so this property belongs to me. This is an argument that can be made. Another way is to claim ownership through possession. I have been possessing this property forever. For as much as everyone knows, I have been possessing this property, so this property belongs to me. So someone can claim title over a property through possession. And there is another way which is called adverse possession. See, there is a person who has legal rights over a piece of land or property, but I have been possessing that for a certain period of time. Usually in India it is 12 years. The legal owner of that property is someone else, but I have acquired that property from him. I have that property in my possession for 12 years. Now, if at all that person has never claimed that property to be his in this specific amount of time, I can claim ownership over that property. To explain this in simple words, I have to be possessing a property for 12 years. The legal owner must be aware that I am claiming ownership over that property, and he must not have done any kind of hindrance for 12 years. If that is the case, then I can claim ownership over that property through adverse possession. Okay, so title, possession, adverse possession. These can be used to claim ownership over a property. Now, coming to this particular dispute, the opposite side, that is the Muslim side, did not have any title, that is a legal document which could prove that they are the legal owners of that particular site. Okay, then they could claim ownership through possession, but to claim ownership through possession, they must have always been in possession of that particular property. But the Archaeological Survey of India unearthed the remains of a Hindu temple beneath the Babri Masjid, and so we can understand that the Babri Masjid was built after destroying a Hindu temple. So the opposite side, that is the Muslim side, could not claim ownership of that piece of land through possession, because there was someone else who was possessing that land at some point of time. Now, the other option is adverse possession. See, yes, when claiming ownership through adverse possession, they have to agree that yes, there was a Hindu temple, so Hindus possessed that land at some point of time, but later on we acquired that. We started possessing that land for more than 4 or 5 centuries. So we have had adverse possession over that piece of land. So we are the legal owners. That is a claim that they could have made. But when claiming ownership through adverse possession, the opposite side must not have done any kind of hindrance. They must not have done any kind of claims. But see, the Hindu side has always claimed rightful ownership over that piece of land. The Hindus have always gone there and tried to reclaim the land. There have been many fights which have been fought just to reclaim that land. There have been many riots which have happened. Many Hindus used to even worship that piece of land from far away. So, the Hindus have always been very keen in claiming rightful ownership of that piece of land. So, when claiming ownership through adverse possession, a very important thing is that the opposite side must not have done any kind of hindrance. But it's not one. There are numerous battles which have been fought just for this sake. So, the opposite side, that is the Muslim side, could not argue claiming ownership through adverse possession. They didn't have a title, they couldn't prove possession, and they couldn't claim ownership through adverse possession. And this is one of the many reasons which made Ramlalla victorious. Now, let's talk about the unfinished battle that I had mentioned in the beginning. Let me explain that dispute through a beautiful shloka written by a great acharya called Parashara Bhattar. Parashara Bhattar was a disciple of Ramanujacharya who lived in Srirangam. In Srirangam, there are two main deities. Lord Sri Ranganatha, who is in the reclining posture, and then you have Utsavamurti, who is fondly called Nambaruval. The main deity, who is in reclining posture, is usually called Periyaperumal and is considered to be Krishna himself. And the Utsavamurti Nambarumal is considered to be Rama. Parashara Bhattar was greatly fond of Lord Rama and hence Nambarumal. During one Abhisheka of Nambarumal, Parashara Bhattar has the darshan of Nambarumal. Parashara Bhattar sees Nambarumal in drenched wet clothes with his hand raised as usual. Parashara Bhattar feels as though Bhagavan is standing in that posture after an argument. What was that argument? Parashara Bhattar explains that through a beautiful shloka. Tvam me ham me kutastat tadapi kutayidam veda mula pramanat etachanadi siddhad anubhava vibhavad sopi sakrosha eva क्वाक्रोशः कस्य गीतादिषु ननु विदितः कोत्र साक्षी सुधी स्यात् हन्तत्वत्पक्षपाती सैतिन कलहे मृग्यमध्यस्थवत्वम्. In this, Bhagavan claims, Tvam me. He looks at a Jivatma and says, You are mine, Tvam me. And the Jivatma replies, Aham me. I'm not yours, I'm mine. Do you get it? Again a dispute, a civil dispute. Bhagavan claims ownership over a property, that is Jivatma. And the Jivatma declines that. Jivatma says, I am mine. I am not there for you. And the argument continues. Tvam me ham me kutastat. Bhagavan claimed and the Jivatma declined. And then Bhagavan asks, Kutastat, why are you saying so? The Jivatma again says, Tadapi kuta idam. You were the first one to claim something. So the burden of proof falls on you. You have to prove that. So Bhagavan, now that he has gotten into a dispute, tries to bring out the first option. Let us remember what we had seen before. The first option is to get a title, show a document. Bhagavan brings a document. What is the document? The document is none other than Vedas themselves. He says, I have this document which clearly mentions that all the Jivatmas are mine. The Vedas say, Patim Vishwasya, Pradhana Kshetrajna Patihi, and so on. It is quite clear from these Vedas that Bhagavan is the rightful owner of the Jivatmas. So Bhagavan thought this title would help, and so he produced this title. He says, Vedamula Pramanat. Now, the Jivatma says, maybe the title is yours, but I have been experiencing myself as being independent. So he says, Etachanadi Siddha Danubhava Vibhavat. The Jivatma says, see, I have from time immemorial been experiencing myself as being independent. So I claim adverse possession. You may have title, but I don't care. I have always been possessing this property, that is myself. So I claim ownership through adverse possession. Now here we have to remember that while claiming adverse possession, the opposite side must not have done any hindrance. Bhagavan very cleverly says, you can't claim ownership through adverse possession because there have been many protests against your claims. He says, Sopi Sakrosha Eva, there have been protests. The Jivatma again replies, Vakroshaha Kasya, who has done protests and where have they done protests? Bhagavan replies, Gita Adishu Mama Viditaha. I have done that. I have personally come, taken many avatars and claimed ownership through Bhagavad Gita and all. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has clearly said that Mamaiva Amsho Jivaloke Jivabhuta Sanatanaha. This Jivatma is mine. Bhagavan has always claimed that. So in this dispute, Bhagavan says, I have claimed ownership over you through Gita. Now, this Jivatma asks, okay, you have protested, you have claimed, but is there any witness? You need a witness to prove this. So Bhagavan says, yes, there is a witness. There are so many people in this world who have read this Gita. They are Jnani. They are called Sudhihi. The Sudhihi, the very knowledgeable person who has knowledge of Gita and other Shastra. He is my witness. He knows that I have claimed ownership over you. He says, Bhagavan says, Skotra Sakshi Sudhi Syat. Jivatma asks, who the witness is? Bhagavan replies, Sudhihi, the knowledgeable person who has learnt Gita is the witness. Now the Jivatma replies, I won't accept this witness because Hantatvat Pakshapati. All these devotees who are knowledgeable are by definition partial towards you. So we can't take them to be valid because a witness must be impartial, unbiased. But your devotees are partial towards you. So he cannot be a witness, he says. Now, unable to win this argument, Bhagavan, running out of all other options, as a last resort, does a Satyam Pramana. In ancient India, there was a custom where a person would drench himself in water and with a raised hand do a Satya Pramana, claim something, and usually the people there would accept that this must be true because he is ready, because he is doing this Satya Pramana. Similarly, Bhagavan in his Abhisheka gives darshan with drenched clothes and a raised hand. So Parashara Bhatta, looking at Bhagavan, feels that Bhagavan, without any option of winning this argument, is doing this Satya Pramana. So this is the dispute. Bhagavan Sri Ram has fought many battles, be it when he took the avatara and be it after the avatara. He has fought many battles and he has fought those battles just to show us that he is there for us. He is there for us. So it is now time for us to show that we are there for him. See, we all are the property of Bhagavan. And that is the dispute he really wants to win. So, we all can contribute in Bhagavan's victory in this battle. We can all surrender onto his holy feet. and tell him that we are there for him. We are there just for him, and then make him victorious. We must tell him that we are ready to live our lives as shown by him in his avatar and as shown by him in scriptures. And that is the only way by which we can make Lord Rama victorious in this battle. This is the ultimate battle. This is the most important battle. And you know what? Everyone can make Rama victorious in this battle. So, Jai Shri Ram. Victory be to Lord Rama. Namaskar.